Hey guys, it's Sandro here, and welcome to a bit of a different video slash podcast, which really came about because I've been having an increased amount of people contacting me and asking for advice on starting a new detailing business. So I thought this could be helpful in trying to come up with a more comprehensive reply and discussion on the topic. So put some earbuds in, play it in the background while you're working, or listen to my sweet voice while you drift off to sleep, and I hope some of you find it helpful. Now, for those of you that don't know, Carcraft Auto Detailing was initially my mobile/home detailing business that I started after working for other businesses such as car washes and car dealerships, and has since opened up quite a few new doors and taken quite a few detours, such as this YouTube channel, running a detailing studio, teaching detailing classes, and helping in testing and development of detailing products, which has been a really rewarding journey. So although I wouldn't necessarily change anything in how I arrived at this point in my detailing career, I tried to structure this podcast as though this is me right now giving advice to the much younger version of me in how to start off as a new professional detailer in 2022. The disclaimer here is that I don't live in the same social, economical, or legislative environment as everyone, nor do I claim that this advice is going to be right for each individual, as there's always extenuating circumstances that will change the appropriateness of this advice. So it's up to you to factor in these things, do your own research, and make your own informed decisions. I've structured this podcast into a few different topics which I'm going to list and then unpack as quickly as I can, starting with number 1, do it for the right reasons. Before you decide to set off on this journey of becoming a self-employed detailer, you should ask yourself why you want to do it. Wanting to make a lot of money, hating your current job or boss, having dreams of owning a world-renowned detailing studio, wanting to decide when or when not to work, and thinking that detailing is easy to get into aren't on their own great reasons to pursue it. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have dreams and aspirations of where you'd like to be in the future work-wise, and sometimes we all need a fresh start, but if you really want to succeed and flourish in this industry, it's just better to start out with the right sort of motives and goals. So here's some great reasons to start a detailing business. You enjoy washing, cleaning, and detailing cars. You find physically demanding work rewarding. You enjoy providing excellent service to customers. You want to be your own boss, and you're a self-motivated and organized person, energized to build and grow your own business with an understanding that it's not easy and will take some time. Number 2, start with the basic equipment and services and then grow. For every car detailer doing more involved paint correction and coatings, there's dozens and dozens of detailers and car washers doing basic car washing and interior cleaning. Why? Because every car owner, to different degrees, will wash or have their cars washed and will clean or have their interiors cleaned, but it's a far smaller segment of the market that seeks out paint correction and coatings. It's also vital to understand that as an unestablished new detailer without years of professional experience, it's just simply harder to find and secure those larger paint correction and coating jobs when you're at the beginning of your detailing career. So you need to factor in your startup cost versus your potential short-term financial return, and the advice I would give is to invest in just the very basic products and tools you need to get started with basic detailing services such as wash and waxes and interior cleanings and dressings. I don't want to make this podcast too specific in exactly what you should buy, as that will vary for everyone, but just as a general reference, for exterior detailing, the products are a pressure washer and foam cannon, wash mitts, trim and wheel cleaning brushes, car soap, all-purpose cleaner, bug and tar remover and wheel cleaning chemicals, cleaning, buffing and drying microfiber cloths, a tire and car plastic dressing, a car wax, sealant and quick detailer, an automotive clay bar, an all-in-one polish or cleaner wax, and a basic affordable machine polisher. For basic interior cleaning, it's a wet and dry vacuum cleaner, a general dilutable interior cleaning chemical, interior cleaning brushes, cleaning pads and microfiber cloths, an interior dressing and quick interior detailer, and a glass cleaner and glass cloths. This entire setup, which we're really talking about a couple of dozen products and tools altogether, can be bought for about $1,000, which is an insanely low startup cost for any business equipment-wise. When you start looking at more involved or higher end detailing services which require additional and far more expensive items such as multiple machine polishes, pads and compounds, ceramic coatings, detailing lights, and further cleaning chemicals, extractors, steamers, and interior coatings, your cost will rise tenfold. And unless you feel like you can secure the type of work and income to pay off that investment, it's simply not the best place to start with increased debt and stress as a new detailing business startup. So all I'm trying to say is that if you do want to get into more involved paint correction and coatings and full-on interior rejuvenation, it's best to work up to that and reinvest into those tools as your basic services start to bring in that revenue and clientele willing to pay for those services. The other thing to mention for mobile detailing, which is quite honestly the best place to start as a new detailing business, is that yes, it's definitely an advantage to have a van or truck with your business logo, but don't think for a second that it's completely essential or that you have to buy one straight away. A smaller trailer is a cheaper option if you have a car set up to tow, or even a decent sized hatchback or wagon with the rear seats folded down can fit all the basic equipment to get you going until you grow enough to justify buying a commercial vehicle. In most cases, your customers aren't going to care all that much what you drive, as long as you're well presented, professional, and friendly in your interactions with them, and of course, do a good job. I'll lastly add here that you don't need to have your own water or power supply either. I did have those in my van, but if I had to guess what percentage of jobs I really needed them for, it would probably be 1 to 2%. And towards the end of my mobile detailing days, I actually stopped to bring in water and power because it just wasn't necessary and a lot of added weight. So what I'm trying to drill home here is that you're the only person that thinks, well, I need to have all this equipment and I need to offer all these services or else I won't be considered a legitimate detailer. When in reality, your customers for the most part don't notice or even care about these things and are really interested in being provided with a good service. Number 3, practice, do the numbers, and pricing. Being a great enthusiast detailer at home can be an excellent pathway to making the transition into professional detailing, but you need to go through a learning curve in order to make that transition from passion to profession. What this means is that detailing for personal reasons is very different to doing it for income and sustaining a business. My advice is to detail as many of your family's and friends' cars as you possibly can before you start doing customers' cars, but treat those cars as though it was a job. So this is the time to start practicing the detailing services you wish to provide and time yourself as to how long each service takes, and also keep a record of the amount of product you use and how much they cost. This way you can start to calculate how long each service takes to complete on average and the cost of your consumable products. Add to that what you believe is a fair hourly wage to pay yourself, what local competitors are charging in your area, and what other costs you will be incurring, such as fuel, income tax, insurance, depreciation of equipment, and so on, so that you can start pricing your services with accuracy and really understand what each service and your time is costing you and your business over the long haul. There's a learning curve here and nobody gets it right at the start, but the better informed and prepared you are, the better chance you will have to succeed. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Almost every time someone has contacted me for advice on starting a detailing business, they seem to want me to tell them how much they should be charging. And when I try to explain how and why they need to work that out for themselves, as only they can figure out based on the specific numbers, they seem to get overwhelmed and discouraged or not even want to start looking at their own costing, which is very worrisome. I always want to help new detailers out as much as I can, but you guys need to realize that if you're not willing to work out your time and costing information, understand all your business expenses, crunch some numbers, and research what your local competition is doing and charging, then it's honestly a lost cause. And this should be a warning sign that maybe you love car detailing, but making it a business isn't right for you. I literally spent months going over my services, costing and pricing, understanding all my tax, insurance and running expenses, and predicting equipment depreciation and replacement, and even adding unforeseen expenses into my calculations. I additionally practiced detailing every family and friend's car I could get my hands on, and even asking the owners for brutal honest feedback where I could have improved. Because although I was used to detailing cars as an employee or detailing my own cars, it was a very different venture starting my own detailing business, and I was in the mindset that I would do everything I possibly could to succeed. Behind every successful small business or sole trader out there, whether it be your local bakery, mechanic, or $2 shop, is someone working their butts off to make that business succeed, because that's what it takes. And I don't want to sugarcoat it or make you think otherwise. It's a lot of hard work. Number 4, how do I get work, getting exposed, and marketing? One of the hardest things about starting a new business is getting the customer ball rolling. Now, what I'm going to share with you is how I personally got the ball rolling and started to get work, which then led to more work, and then I'll talk about some other important marketing. But firstly, remember how I just talked about practicing my services on every car I could get my hands on? Well, what happened in my case is that my neighbors started seeing me out in my driveway washing, cleaning, buffing, and waxing a different car almost every other day. And what started happening was that I was getting asked if I do this for a living and if I could do their cars. And after I did a few neighbors' cars at quite reasonable prices, they were super impressed with the work and then started recommending me to family and friends. And that's honestly how I got the ball rolling, even before I officially started my business, which was actually just dumb luck. Then I got some business logos for my van and had it parked outside when I was working both at my house or at neighbors' homes, which seemed to help even more in getting some locals to stop and ask a few questions, call me, and book in some more jobs. This then gave me another idea, and what I did was go to my family mechanic and offer to detail his and his employees' cars for free on the side of the shop, which had a large free area, to see if that higher traffic location could land me some more jobs, and it did. While my mechanic's customers were waiting to drop off or pick up their cars, a few of them saw my detailing van and me working in the background and came up and asked if I could do their cars while they got them serviced. What ended up happening was that I worked out a deal with my mechanic that I would charge whatever I wanted to detail the cars. He would let his customers know that I do detailing on the side of the shop, and he'd put 10% on top of my bill to use his outdoor space, which was really a fantastic deal for me, as it was fairly constant work with no real drawbacks at all. At times when things were a little slower, I would take a drive to some local industrial areas and basically just pop in, ask for the owner or manager, and just inquire if they were interested in getting their cars detailed while at work. Now, my success rate here was about 1 in 10, but here's the thing. When I did land a job, it almost always resulted in more jobs, as some of the other employees and even close by business employees would see me set up and working and ask if I could do their cars as well. So this really became my thing, especially at the start of my business, and I quickly realized that being outside and exposed while working seemed to result in getting more work, especially in industrial areas with lots of foot traffic. Now, at the same time I was doing this, I also registered my business on some local business directories like True Locals, Yellow Pages, Yelp, and so on. And although I'm not going to lie and say that it brought a ton of work, these platforms did lead to getting a few jobs and even a couple of recommendations from those customers to family and friends, which then brought in more work, so it was certainly worth it. Now, one area that I was late to the party and would do differently if I was starting my business today would be to put a stronger focus on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok, as much as it pains me to say it. My advice here is to start business pages on these platforms and make a concerted effort to post every day or at least every other day, which also means that you need to take lots of nice photos and even get some short videos showcasing your work for every single job that you do. You need to look at this as part of your daily work routine. Try and get ahead on content and have a reserve, but just keep on posting nice car detailing photos of your finished work, before and afters, and little walkarounds to show your skills. Keep the text minimal with just 1 or 2 lines just describing the car and job you did, and let people know they can contact you for a quote, and just keep on doing it, and it's almost a guarantee that you will land some jobs if you keep at it, and more jobs if your posts and content is better than your competition. Apart from that, guys, 5-star reviews and positive comments also help. Try and get your friends and families to follow and share your posts to expand their reach. And as far as a website goes, this is my advice. If you can get a nice, modern, professional looking website put together, it should help more online traffic come your way. But if your website looks dodgy, dated, and cheap, it may do more harm than good as far as securing jobs. But even in today's online society, treating your customers well and having them recommend you to others is a vital formula to secure ongoing future work. So be honest, kind, social, but still professional towards them and follow up with them, as they can largely help spread the word and get you more work in the future, even more so than anything else. Number 5, keep it simple, do what you're comfortable with, and ask questions. I've already touched on some of this, but I wanted to expand on structuring services. The first thing to understand as a detail enthusiast or professional detailer is that you're submerged into detailing in a way that may be too complex and too much information for the average customer to grasp and easily understand. In other words, simplicity and clarity in your services is a vital part in making them appealing to potential clients. I'm not going to get into what you should specifically call them, but my advice here is keep it simple and don't write an essay to describe every service with 100 steps and stages with dramatized wording, as that may overwhelm and confuse potential customers. You should also avoid having too many services that may once again pull customers off. You can just add on a bespoke detailing service that can be tailored to customers' needs, and maybe an options section where clients can add on extra services. The other thing you will most likely encounter is customers asking you for services that you may not be offering, such as paint correction, ceramic coatings, deep scratch removal, and touch-up paint. My advice here is never do anything you're not comfortable with just to try and please a client, as it may very well backfire if it's not an area of detailing that you're experienced in. You may feel pressure to try and please your client, but 9 times out of 10, just saying, "I'm sorry, but I don't feel comfortable doing that," or "it's not a service I provide," will be fine and they'll appreciate your honesty. Lastly here, car owners in my experience love talking about their cars. So ask some friendly questions about the use and storage of the car, if they've had other detailers work on it, and if they have any areas of concern about it and what they'd like to achieve with this detail. This can be hugely valuable information to understand where past detailers may have failed them so you don't make the same mistakes, and to put some extra focus on areas that are more important to that particular customer specifically. Information is key, and trying to gather it in a friendly chat is a vital part of providing the best service possible. Number 5, keep busy and good mental health. It's just a fact that as a detailing business owner, operator, you will have busy weeks and months, followed by quiet weeks and months that can cause a bit of a yo-yo effect in your physical and mental health. The key to staying strong and focused in your quiet periods or in the beginning when the work hasn't quite taken off is to just keep on working at your business, as there's always something to do, like getting out there and trying to drum up some extra work, or working on some marketing material and improved social media posts to help get through that quiet period. Maybe it's finding a nice location to take some epic car shots of a freshly detailed car, or offering any new clients a discount in some sort of promotion. But don't just sit there and allow the situation to get you down, as that's when things can spiral downhill quickly. Also guys, it's not like you have to jump straight into the deep end all at once. It can be a huge stress relief to have a supplementary income while your business is still growing. Yes, it's hard trying to launch and grow a business as well as work another job, but it can be the best course of action, especially in the early days, to keep you busy and lessen the financial burden. Number 6, join the community, make contacts, ask for advice. It's such a different world to the one I grew up in, with good and bad things that come with it. One great thing as a new professional detailer is that you can easily connect with people in your industry, ask for advice, and even take advantage of work opportunities that can pop up, as established detailers are more frequently turning to social media posts to look for contract, casual, and even full-time workers. As a new startup business, this can be a great lifeline not only to secure some additional income, but also make great contacts and gain an insight to how other detailers in your industry run their business. So try and capitalize on those potential online opportunities by joining good detailing groups, maybe even posting that you're a new detailer looking for work in your area, or sending a few direct messages to detailers in your area, asking if you can meet them or at least let them know that you're available if and when they're looking for an extra hand. This all comes down to the last point of keeping busy and being proactively engaged in doing everything you can to create opportunities that will help you succeed. And you need to understand that it's in your hands and that you can't sit back and just expect the work to come rolling in. So let's wrap this up. I want to end this on a really positive note by saying that apart from the obvious lockdowns and work restrictions, I've never seen car detailing as an industry flourish more than it has over the past few years, and it really doesn't seem to be slowing down by any stretch of the imagination. Now, with increased demand and popularity also comes increased competition, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. But it's also an opportunity for those of you that are willing to work harder, make smarter business decisions, and provide better service to separate yourself from that competition and flourish. But make no mistake about it, no one's holding you back, suppressing you, or intent on making sure you fail except you. It's entirely in your hands, and the sooner you realize this, the sooner you can focus on the real task of growing a successful detailing business. If you enjoyed this video/podcast and would like to say thanks and help support future content, you can do so by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ccad, in which I'll have a link to in the description box, and thank you everyone for the support so far. As always, I really hope you enjoyed and found this video useful. Please share it, give it a like and comment below to help support this channel, and I'll see you guys soon.